everybody. Welcome. We're live, so here we go. My name is Ben. I'm going to be your IELTS instructor for the day. If this is your first time seeing me, you are watching me through a YouTube channel, IELTS Lessons. Hey everybody, welcome. We're live, so here we go. My name is Ben. I'm going to be your IELTS instructor for the day. If this is your first time seeing me, you are watching me through a YouTube channel, IELTS. Hey everybody, welcome. We're live, so here we go. My name is Ben. I'm going to be your IELTS instructor for the day. If this is your first time seeing me, you are watching me through a YouTube channel, IELTS. Hey everybody. Welcome. We're live, so here we go. My name is Ben. I'm going to be your IELTS instructor for the day. If this is your first time seeing me, you are watching me through a YouTube channel, IELTS. Hey everybody, welcome. We're live, so here we go. My name is Ben. I'm going to be your IELTS instructor for the day. If this is your first time seeing me, that was probably pretty loud. Sorry about that. Forgot I had that open in my browser. All right, guys. Well, let's go ahead and get started. I see a few people watching, so welcome. If you're watching right now, go ahead and post where you're from, where you're watching from. Tell me your name or what you are, maybe your IELTS band goal. Okay, what is the band score that you are searching for? All right, let's get into it here. We're going to start with some vocabulary, actually. Let me get to the top of my file here. All right, we're going to start with some vocabulary that is related to education. All right, I'm going to see if I can... Oh, one second. Let me configure the chat for a minute. Hold on a minute here. Gotta make sure I can see all of your comments. Okay, there we go. Oh, very small. Let me make those a little bit bigger for you and for me. Okay, Nauman is watching. I think I saw you on the Facebook group, so welcome. I'm glad you found the video. That's great. I see 5 people watching, so that's fantastic. Where are you guys from? I know Nauman's from Pakistan. The rest of you guys, where are you from? What are you doing? What time is it there, I wonder? I think Pakistan, it's maybe around noon. 1 p.m.? I might be wrong about that. I'm actually recording from Korea, so here it is about 5 p.m. Just finished with work. Now, let's talk vocabulary. Oh, wait. Hardy just gave me a comment here. I'm watching from Hanoi, Vietnam. The exam on the 11th of November, this Saturday. Okay. Wow, 7.5. That is ambitious. I hope that you get there as well. Hardy, what are your weakest parts of the exam? Do you need particular help with any subject, writing or speaking, listening or writing? What do you struggle with the most? Or what are you most worried about? Okay, and we've got from Bangladesh, Yusuf from Bangladesh. I think we've maybe met before, Yusuf. I think I recognize you from Facebook. I'm not sure, but anyway, I'm glad you could make it. 6 people watching. Welcome, guys. Now, let's see. Let's talk vocabulary, shall we? So I found a really great list of vocabulary from this website, eschoolnews.com. And actually, this list was a list of kind of buzzwords for education. And I think those kind of words... You guys know what a buzzword is? A buzzword is kind of a term or a phrase that is really popular among professionals in that field. So if you hear two professional teachers talking to each other, these are the kind of words that come up often. They're really good ways to study topic-focused vocabulary. Like if you searched for technology buzzwords, you would get a list of words that are all about the current trends in technology. And that's pretty much what you're dealing with in Task 2 and Part 3 for speaking. The first one I highlighted there, 21st century, and we are using that as an adjective. Okay? Our schools need to emphasize 21st century skills and information. Okay, so what types of skills? Modern skills, okay, but 21st century skills sounds a little more natural. All right. The next one, it's a bit of a difficult one to use, I think. Sputnik moment. Read the example with me. My country experienced its very own Sputnik moment 3 years ago when it was revealed that we are among the lowest ranked countries in STEM education. All right. If you don't know what STEM means, that is science, technology. What is the E? Science, technology, math. Somebody's going to have to write that in the comments. If you know what the E means, write it in there. But we often just use this acronym, STEM. So a Sputnik moment, what is a Sputnik moment? Well, for Americans, Sputnik was the Russian satellite that went up into orbit. My history is not great, but the Russian satellite that went up into orbit in the 60s, and the US saw that and realized, oh my God, we really need to get going. Like, we are really behind other countries. So it's the moment when, as a group, or as a country, or as a team, or whatever, you realize that you're behind, and it encourages you, or it spurs you to start working hard, studying hard, developing quickly, like that. Okay? So I like this phrase, our very own Sputnik moment, or its very own Sputnik moment, as a way to talk about those moments when you realize you need to work hard. Yeah. I wouldn't use it personally, like in part 2 of the speaking, I wouldn't use it, but when you're speaking in general, particularly when it comes to education. Now, number 3, Web 2.0. Make sure you pronounce it in this way. Web 2.0. Okay, so read the example with me. With the development of Web 2.0, teachers have a much greater variety of resources that they can use to generate interest in the classroom. So what does that mean, Web 2.0? Well, the first kind of version of the internet was sort of just static web pages. There wasn't a lot of interaction that you could do. Like what I'm doing right now, talking to you through this video platform, that is an example of Web 2.0. So in education, Web 2.0 might be using tablets in class to interact with students. It could be projects that students do online, communicating with each other through the internet. It could be Skype. I saw a cool project where a classroom, the whole classroom together would do a Skype call with another classroom in another country to learn about each other's culture. All of that is an example of Web 2.0. Okay, so this is really good for part 3 of speaking, but especially the task 2 writing assignment, the essay. Let me see if you guys have any comments or questions here. Ooh, all right, Hardy says listening and also reading. Yes, please get a hold of me, Hardy. Hopefully I can help you with that. I have made some videos on reading strategy. I don't think I put them up on YouTube because the editing wasn't great, but they are on Facebook. So if you look through the Facebook group, just click the videos tab and scroll down. You'll see that I have done a number of videos on reading strategy. That would be a good place to start. Let's see, from India, welcome. All right, that's 7.5 and 7 in each band, okay. Now, 7 is a pretty high bar to reach. It happens so often that you get maybe 7.5, 7.5, 6.5, 7. That one band really hurts you, and it's often speaking. And how can I improve my writing test 1 and 2? Yes, Yusuf, that's a great question. I have to recommend my own website, which is, I posted it down in the comments, IELTSlessonsforyou.com. Okay, no spaces or dashes, just IELTS lessons for the number 4 and you, the letter U. I do have a full writing course available there if you're interested in it, and also a lot of different tips as well. Okay, and okay, I didn't get the 7 in each. 8.5 in listening. 6.5. Shoot, yeah. That's great that your listening scores are so good. You might try to leverage those listening skills in other areas. So, listen to your favorite movies, TV shows, music, podcasts, radio, whatever it is, and try to take some notes on vocabulary that you could use in your speaking, stuff like that. Okay, moving on with our vocabulary. Number 4, college and career ready. So the number 1 goal of high school education should be making students college and career ready. What does that mean, college and career ready? You can probably guess what it means, right? Ready for college and ready for job. But that phrase can be used together, college and career ready. So for a task 2 essay about education, that is a great phrase to use, or a great word to use. Number 5, right brain thinking. Right brain thinking. It's a bit of an old-fashioned concept that we have 2 types of brains, right brain and left brain. The reality is more complex than that, but it's still a really good kind of buzzword to use. You can catch the meaning by looking at the example. Students from my country tend to struggle with right brain thinking, partly due to an overemphasis on standardized testing. Okay, so right brain thinking is critical thinking skills, problem solving. Okay, not memorization or learning facts, but solving problems, dealing with unexpected situations. That is right brain thinking. Moving ahead to number 6, future proofing. Government should make an effort to future proof classrooms, installing advanced equipment that will not soon become obsolete. Okay, what does that mean, future proof? Well, I put the definition in the example, essentially. You want to make sure that the classroom does not become obsolete, okay, by using the latest technology when you install it. This is great for a task 2 essay when it comes to funding for schools or the government's actions. Future proofing usually costs a lot of money at the beginning because you need the latest equipment. Okay, so right now buying like an old PC computer might not be the best example of future proofing, because in 5 years or 3 years maybe, the kinds of things you want to do in the classroom, those PCs might not be able to do it, right? So instead, invest more money in the latest models, right? The best computers you can get. It costs more money at the beginning, but you're going to be able to use those for the long term. Okay, so that's kind of the discussion around future proofing among educators. Number 7, tech savvy. Tech savvy. businesses are increasingly looking to hire tech-savvy employees who can keep up with trends in technology. What does that mean, tech-savvy? Savvy is a good word to use. It means knowledgeable, but you can't be, for example, history savvy. No. Okay, you can't be philosophy savvy. No. Savvy is knowledgeable about something that is changing all the time. Okay, like fashion is a good example. Technology is a good example as well. Okay, so tech-savvy employees means they are really skilled at using computers and keeping up with the trends. All right, I'll keep that on the screen there, but let's check for any comments from you guys. No comments, I see. If you have any questions along the way, just type them into the comments and I will answer them periodically, okay? I see we've got 8 people watching. Welcome, everybody. If you haven't said hello yet, please tell me, where are you from? Why are you studying the IELTS? What is your goal? What is your dream? I want to learn a little bit about you guys, so go ahead and send me a message or send me a comment if you want. All right. Now, we've got 3 more to go. Number 8, digital natives. Digital natives. Read the example. One big difference between my generation and my parents' generation is that my peers and I are digital natives. Technology comes naturally to us. Okay, so think about the idea of native, right? If you are a native Chinese person, it means you were born in China. So a digital native means you were born in the digital age. Okay? It means that digital things, like technology, it just feels normal and natural. It is not foreign. Okay? So when we're comparing generations, this is a great term to use. Maybe the older generation can be a bit cautious or suspicious, maybe, of technology. Not sure if the advantages outweigh the disadvantages. Younger people tend to be early adopters or digital natives. It feels comfortable for them, so they use it easily. They are kind of naturally tech savvy, if you want to combine those ideas. Number 9, inquiry-based. Inquiry-based. One way to help students become better prepared for the workplace is to use more inquiry-based projects that emphasize real-world application of knowledge. Okay? Inquiry means like discovery, questioning. Right? Inquiry-based is really a project where you are trying to discover the answers to something. Okay? Or maybe even that you don't even know what the questions are yet. Part of the project is creating the questions and then doing the research to answer them. Okay? Real world is different. Real world means practical, can be used in daily life. Okay, so this is kind of a shift away from theoretical knowledge or theoretical study, focusing on practical study and this inquiry-based study. And that is related to number 10 as well. So number 10, student-centered. Teachers need to prioritize student-centered approaches to encourage students to take ownership over their own learning. All right? So student-centered, like inquiry-based, the students are the center. It's not the teachers explaining something to the students. No, the students are deciding what or how they want to learn, and then the teacher is just kind of guiding them how to learn for themselves. And so I do this a lot in my classroom. I teach at a university, and most of my classes, I'm not really lecturing to them. This is kind of new for me, that I am kind of giving you information. Most of my classes, I give them projects to do or conversations to have. They discover the kind of vocabulary they want to have or that they need. Or they discover the research that they need for their project. I think a student-centered approach to IELTS is really valuable as well. I've written a couple of blog posts recently on my website, IELTSlessonsforyou.com. And in those blog posts I talk about why you really don't need an instructor to help you with vocabulary. And you don't need a vocabulary book either. The best way to study vocabulary in a student-centered, kind of inquiry-based, organic approach is to read and listen. And when you see vocabulary that you're interested in and that you like, you write it down, search for the definition, try to understand it, and then try to use it. You might need an instructor to make sure that you are using it correctly. It's the one area you might need that. But aside from that, I think it's more effective if you use a student-centered, kind of inquiry-based approach to vocabulary. Okay, so all of these, I'm going to just review them one more time. Okay, 21st century, Sputnik moment, Web 2.0, college and career ready, right brain thinking, future proofing, tech savvy, digital natives, inquiry-based or real world, and student-centered. All of these are great for part 3 of the speaking, and then for task 2 of the writing, especially, I think. All right, let's check for a couple of comments here. Yusuf, you're welcome. And Hardy, it's a good question. Hardy asks, can you say entertainment savvy or music industry savvy? I think you could say music savvy or movie savvy. Film savvy, definitely. I'm not sure about entertainment. It should be something... I don't know why we can't say entertainment savvy. Not common, though. Maybe that knowledge is not really useful in a kind of career kind of way. And often we use savvy when it's knowledge that is valuable. I don't want to say entertainment knowledge is not valuable. It is for some people, but for the most part, it's not really something you can use in the workplace, for example. Oh, is it a little too quiet? Oh, I did not realize. Let me try to adjust my microphone a bit. Sorry about that, Patara. I can check my audio settings here and make sure that I'm speaking loudly enough. Yeah, it might be a little quiet. Sorry about that. Yeah, hopefully that's a little better. As I said, this is kind of our first live class on YouTube, so it may be we just need to have a little time to adjust. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for the first section here. We've got a lot to go. We've got some speaking practice. We also have writing practice coming up, writing corrections for task 1 and for task 2. All right, I'm going to take a 2-minute break and get some water. I suggest you do the same, but don't go anywhere. I will see you guys just in a second, okay? Enjoy this music. Sorry, guys. I just realized what happened. I forgot to unmute my thing. Thanks for being patient and waiting. Now you can hear me, right? Okay. Anyway, let me explain again. So we're going to do some speaking practice here on this topic, an academic subject that you are interested in. Let me make the text a little bigger. There we go. It's a little bit easier to see, right? Oh, see, my face got red, right? How embarrassing. Anyway, an academic subject you're interested in, and you should say what it is, when you started to become interested in it, what you have learned from it, and explain why you have an interest in it. Okay? And the speakers we're going to pull from the Skype group. If you're not part of the Skype group, you should definitely join. You can find a link to it on our Facebook group. And if you're not in our Facebook group, just go to Facebook and type in IELTS for all. I think I will put a link down in the description of this video so that you can get there. But if you're not a member yet, it's too late, unfortunately, but we'll have another class next week that you'll get a chance. All right, so I'm going to pull from Teresa next. No, wait, hold on. Let's see who said they were available. Okay. Let's give them a call. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Great. How are you?
Pretty
Hi, Ben.
good. Have you been watching the video?
Yeah, I'm watching.
Okay.
Just stop.
Fantastic, great. Well, have you had a chance to take some notes for your speaking practice?
Pardon?
So the speaking practice topic, I'm going to post it to you in Skype, just so you can see it easily. Okay, so I just sent it to you there. Okay, can you read it?
Wait a minute.
Okay. You see it there? Oh. I lost him. I lost him. Let's try a different speaker here. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened there. We'll come back to that person later if they're still interested. Maybe they got scared. I don't know. Let's find out. Shoot. He just called me again. Let's go to him. Okay. Hey there.
Hello. Oh, hi. Sorry, it was a network problem there.
No problem. All right. So you see the topic now?
Yeah, I have seen. It's about academic subjects such as physics and mathematics.
That's right. And those are just examples. So it can be any academic subject that you want. But I'm going to give you 1 minute to prepare. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Your minute starts now.
Okay.
Okay, you can start
Okay.
speaking now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, to be honest, I would like to talk about my favorite subject, mathematics. When I was in school, it was my favorite subject. So that time I achieved good good marks. Uh, it was very interesting. When I went to my coaching classes, it's like competition between me and my friend. So that's why I I prefer like to score more than him. So that time I start learning about mathematics, algebra.
Hmm. Oh, finished?
Mm, yeah.
Okay, I'll stop you there. That's fine. Okay, so that
Okay.
was about maybe 1 minute or a minute 10.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I think the simplest way to organize your response is to really go in order here. So you
Okay.
can explain, talk for 15 or 20 seconds about the different types of mathematics.
Okay.
Mathematics is a big subject, so you can talk about what it is. Um,
Okay.
you did a good job here. What you have
Okay.
learned from it. You could spend some time talking about how mathematics um, has helped you in your life or in your career. Um,
Okay.
and if it hasn't helped you, that's
Okay.
fine too. You can also talk about the fact that it didn't really help you very much. You just found it interesting, right?
Okay.
Um, and then why you have an interest in it. I think this is an opportunity to talk about your personality a little bit.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I think anytime you can take a question and relate it to your personality, your character, your history, your relationships, those
Okay.
topics tend to be the ones where you have the strongest abilities to talk. So, as soon as you can bring it to yourself, that's when your language skill is probably going to go up. So,
Okay.
let's see. In terms of grammar
Okay.
um, or language use, I think, to be honest, is
Okay.
usually a way to introduce something a little bit embarrassing or unexpected.
Okay.
Like if you said, like, to be honest, I am not interested in academics at all. It's like, oh, okay. But in your case, to be honest, I want to talk about mathematics. It didn't really fit that
Okay.
that sentence. I achieved good marks. Let's change this word to received. Received good marks. This, I think you said the right word, but the pronunciation was a little unclear.
Okay.
Competition between me and my friend.
Okay.
Yeah. And here I would say to score higher than him. It's usually high scores and low scores. It's
Okay.
not about the quantity. Um,
Okay.
and then you said algebra. That's kind of where you stopped. So I wrote down the last word you said. But
Okay.
um,
So here I started to describe this it's a in a category of mathematics,
mm,
algebra have different, but I forget the names. So
yeah.
that's why.
I was trying to think here. I'm not much of a math nerd, but let's see, algebra,
Integration,
trigonometry.
integration,
Yes, integration.
derivation,
Good. Yeah.
ge- like geometry also.
Yeah, geometry, calculus. I guess maybe that's
Yeah, here I was nervous about I forget.
that's all right. I understand. That's one of those things where in your note taking, um, when you've got that 1 minute, it's those kind of words
Okay.
you want to make sure that you get down.
Here I have not not a pencil or a pen with
Oh,
not.
really? Ah,
That's why I prepared this on my mind.
I see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I should have warned you and given you some time to find that. I think, but um,
Actually, I need like in speaking, I need 6 band.
okay. I think
So
I think you have a chance to get there for sure. You just need some practice and really be very clear to yourself about what your strategy is. I mean, are you
okay,
trying to, emphasize your fluency, or are
okay,
you trying to speak really cleanly with perfect grammar, or are you trying to impress with vocabulary? You got to kind
o-
of choose an approach so that when you go into the exam, you're
okay,
thinking, how can I really perform this approach as best I can? Um,
okay,
if you go in there and just think, I'm going to speak as best I can, there's too many ideas going around. I need to speak faster. I need to avoid grammar. I need to use good vocabulary. Kind of
okay.
pick an approach, pick a strategy, and try to be clear with that. When do you plan to take the exam?
I will plan to maybe in December end or Jan start.
Okay. Oh, you
So
got some
what?
time.
What do you think about my band score right now?
Uh, I don't think you're far away from a six, but uh, the fact that you stopped here, that's kind of the worrying thing. So I think you need to do a lot more practice. I don't think your skills might already be at a six level, but you need to make sure that you are ready to show your skills, that you understand the exam really well, you
Yeah, yeah.
practice the topics really well, you have ideas for what
Okay,
you're going to talk about, so that you don't. Right now, it's like if you get the kind of topics that you are ready for, you might get a six right now. But
okay.
if you get a topic that you're not prepared for, you could easily drop down to a five. So
Here
it's
I,
all
I
about.
here I need to polish my vocab and grammar.
That's right. Yeah.
So what about my grammar? Grammar is okay or it's problem?
No, I didn't hear any actual grammar problems. More just word choice, right? Receive,
Okay.
hi. Yeah.
So let me know what's a better way to improve my speaking. Like actually, I have no problem to speak for like any journal. So if someone give me topics that like you give me task 2 question, here I face the problem like what I should say
Mm.
or what I should not. It's a main big problem.
Yeah, and that's actually one of the easiest things to fix, which is just make a big list. What I
Okay.
like to do is make a big list, get a stack of note cards, and put one topic on each note card.
Okay.
Throughout the day, what I used to do when I was preparing for the GRE exam,
Okay.
I would pick up a note card every day before I left the house.
Okay.
And while I was walking to work, or if you drive to work, or take a subway, or if you have classes, while you're going there, read that
Okay.
topic and think about it, right? Think about how you could answer that, how you could develop that. Um,
Okay.
if you can't think of any topics at all or anything to say, ask your friends, ask your family, see what ideas they have, and if really necessary, read a blog or some kind of forum about that. Some topics like in my case, like parenting. I'm not a
Okay.
parent. I don't really know much about parenting. I might have to search on a blog and find some information about that. But generally, the topics for speaking, there's nothing. It's very rare to have a topic um, that you don't know anything about. So
Okay.
just take some time to brainstorm yourself about those topics.
So
And
so if I want like 7 band, so it's
mhm.
easy to cover 7 band in speaking.
Easy or difficult, it's those are all relative terms. So it's difficult for some people, it's easy for some people. I think the key is to remember there's four skills for speaking that you're tested on, right? The four parts of the rubric. So whether it's
Okay.
grammar or vocabulary or fluency or pronunciation, um, target one section at a time. So if you feel like grammar is a weakness, spend a couple of weeks focusing on your grammar, right?
Okay.
Don't think about how to improve speaking. Think about how to improve grammar and vocabulary and fluency and pronunciation separately,
Okay.
and then your speaking
Okay.
will go up. Okay,
Okay.
we better let you go though, because we got a few other people wanting to practice. But thank you very much for participating, and I hope I get to talk
Thank
to you soon.
thank you. Next time, when will you have a like same live session?
We'll do one every week. Yeah, so probably
Uh, uh,
next week, probably on Wednesday again.
Wednesday, not every day.
Not every day, no. Yeah, unfortunately, I just don't have the time. But yeah.
Okay, okay.
All
Nice
right.
problem. Well,
All right. Talk to you soon.
okay.
All right. Cool. Well, let's see. How to make notes in speaking part 2. I'm struggling. Please give me ideas about speaking. There's a lot of different ways to take notes. I have my own preferred methods, but find a way that works well for you. I think one good way is to separate ideas and then vocabulary. Okay? So take like 30 seconds and just mark down kind of what you're going to say. Little words that tell you what you can talk about. You could even do that in your own language if you want. Okay? Just idea brainstorming. And then on the other half, put in some vocabulary words that are related to those. Okay? Some higher level, more interesting vocabulary. And then while you're talking about the idea, find a way to inject that vocabulary into your sentences. But that's not the only way. Okay, there's a lot of different ways to do it. Now, let's see. Why don't we go with another speaker here? Okay, how about... Okay, let's go with Yusuf next. Okay. Nauman, I think we're going to get to you next. But first, let me give Yusuf a chance. All right, we'll go with Nauman now. Hello? Hello, hello? Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hi. Are you there?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. Well, so it looks like you have the topic already. Have you had a chance to take down some notes?
Yes, I have taken down some notes related to this topic.
Okay, well, let's do it. You can start whenever you are ready.
Well, I read a lot of books, but I think computer networks is my favorite book. At my fifth semester during my engineering, I studied it. Yes, yes, I can hear you. Yes, yes, I'm here.
Go ahead, you can keep going.
Your voice is not louder.
Okay, Nauman, can you hear me through Skype or through YouTube?
Yes, through Skype.
Okay, yeah, make sure you turn off YouTube so that you don't hear me twice, but why don't you go ahead
Yes, I turned off my voice on YouTube.
Okay, well, why don't you go ahead and start from the beginning then? And I'll start the
Well,
timer again.
okay, let us start. Well, I read a lot of books. I read a lot of books during my engineering, but I think computer networks is my favorite book because I studied in fifth semester. It was written by Behrouz A. Frozen. The method of writing is so simple because anyone which has less knowledge about this, or even everyone can study from basic to advanced level. I suggest to other people also to improve their networking skills by reading this book. It contains basic to advanced level. I think it's a very good book. Everyone who in the field of networking, who are in the basic or in advanced, he or she should study this book. Even if anyone in the practical field, he or she must read this book because this has enough knowledge and enough skills to improve his practical as well as theory. So,
Okay, I'll stop you there. Good. So that was about 1 minute and 10 seconds, which is not bad.
okay,
But I think there are some ways you can expand that. So in the actual prompt, right, this kind of question, when you started to become interested in it, you can talk about that fifth semester. Who was your professor? Like, why did this topic appeal to you so much? And especially at the end here, as I was saying to the previous speaker, why you have an interest in it. What is it about this kind of network? Was it computer network? What is it about this topic that appeals to you compared to other engineering topics? So not describing the topic, but describing yourself.
okay,
What kind of person you are and why that makes you attracted to this topic. Part two, I think almost every part two question is really a question about you. It's not a question about an event or another person. It's a question about you that uses this kind of other topic as a way for you to kind of talk about who you are. You want to express yourself. And the way you answered it was more like kind of promoting a book rather than talking about yourself and your interest in this thing. And just in terms of approach, that was sort of the other strange thing is you talked a lot about a book that you're interested in rather than the overall subject. I think you could mention that the book was really clear and easy to understand, but we should be focusing on that subject rather than the book.
okay,
Just a couple of quick grammar things for you. I studied it in my fifth semester. Anyone who has less knowledge about this, be careful with this phrase, networking skills. The word networking has this kind of other meaning where it's socializing with people in order to get a job.
okay,
So, yeah, I think maybe skills related to computer networks might be a better way to say that. It contains, and if anyone is in the practical field, he or she. So some grammar things for you to work on, but I do think that the approach and really answering the question in the right way, with the right approach and strategy, will
Okay.
be the first thing to focus on.
So how can I improve my grammar?
Grammar is hard to improve on your own, but yeah, really hard to improve on your own. In speaking, often people's speaking grammar is worse than their writing grammar. So I would recommend, using your phone as a kind of recording device, right? Choosing a topic, pushing record, speaking out the topic, and then listen to it and write down exactly the words that you said. Okay? And in this way, you can look at the words that you spoke, and you will notice, I think, some of these grammar mistakes. If you were writing it, you wouldn't make this kind of mistake. So that's one way you can bring your speaking level for grammar up to the level of your writing. Improving your writing grammar is a whole different situation. That can be really difficult. But reading, getting a good grammar book, I think is a great start. I wrote a blog post on the website recently about the the series of grammar books by Betty Azar. And she's got 3 grammar books that are really great. There's a red one, which is kind of basic. There's a black one, which is intermediate. And then there's a blue one, which is advanced. So I would recommend getting probably these 2 and working on grammar exercises in here and try to apply those in your writing as well.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you go because we got one more speaker ready to go, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you very much.
All right. Let's see if we got any comments, and we'll try to get one more person in here. So we got 8 people watching. Welcome, guys. How are you? Glad to see everybody. Let's get one more speaker, and then we'll get into some writing eventually. Let's see. Okay. Hey.
Hello? Hi.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. Well, let's go ahead and get into it. Have you been watching the video? Do you know the topic?
Yes, I know.
Okay, have you had a chance to take some notes already?
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, in that case, you can start whenever you're ready.
Yeah, okay. There are many subjects. I used to enjoy a lot of subjects whenever in school, but my interest always was in the subject of science rather than mathematics and other language. Biology was one of the most interesting subject according to me. It itself means it is a subject which deals with life. So it is always interesting to know how living organisms function and the other things. Even in biology, there are 2 subsections like botany and zoology. I was not very much interested in knowing about plant life, but I was rather interested in the part of zoology. The interest in me started at an early age, maybe when I was in 5th grade. So since it started in primary school itself, I was able to learn a lot of things, and I always used to score high. I always used to get high score in this subject. There are a lot of things which I have learned, ranging from how living organisms function at unicellular level to even multicellular organisms, including we human beings. Science is a subject which deals with concepts rather than imaginary things. So whatever we learn, we can see things, and also we can perform some of the experiments. So it always sparks an interest in me. It is just amazing to know how living organisms function and what are the various differences between each of them. It develops curiosity, and I think curiosity is the main thing which has helped me to develop more and more interest in this subject.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. That was 2 minutes, so nice job. Excellent, yeah. Toward the beginning of your response, you did make a few kind of maybe unnatural word choices or a couple of little grammar issues, but the last half was very, very good. Your accent is a little bit thick at times, and at times it does make it a little bit difficult to catch what you're saying. It's a hard thing to work on, but yeah, pronunciation would be maybe the one area that you should work on a bit.
Okay.
So just in terms of the here, I'll send you this through Skype. I forgot. You might not be watching the video, but well, actually,
So I'm very poor in my accent.
yeah. There's just there was a couple of times, for example, I didn't write down the times, but
Okay.
like here's zoology.
Okay.
Yeah, the way that you pronounced that was more like zoology, like
Yes.
it should be these two separate sounds, ooh ah, zoology.
Okay.
But because I think just because of the accent, it was a little difficult to understand. It took me just a half a second, and then I thought, zoology. But that half a second is what goes from like an 8 to a 7, for example, right?
You need a score of 7. So, with can I practice and get that score, or I'm still far away from getting that?
So you're aiming for a score of 7?
Yes.
I don't think you're far away. Yeah. When do you plan to take the exam?
In the month of December.
Okay. I think you're close. Yeah. I think you have a strong chance of getting a 7. Keep practicing, and I can tell this topic you're very comfortable talking about this topic. So make sure that you do a lot of practice with various topics, just to make sure that you are not surprised by any kind of unusual or unfamiliar topic that might cause your grammar to go down or vocabulary to go down. So yeah, you're on the right track. You're doing great. A couple little things here. When I was in school, English and other languages, one of the most interesting subjects to me or for me, but according to is not quite appropriate here. And
I just very much nervous when I'm speaking, so I think during that time I do a lot of grammar mistakes.
That's another thing that you can try to develop is, be able to speak fluently and comfortably with just 10% of your brain being careful about grammar, right? Because if right now you're not thinking about grammar at all, well, you don't really have a chance to improve your grammar scores. But if you can just get 10% of your brain to be able to focus on the grammar as you speak, that can help. But it takes time to get comfortable enough to do that. And then zoology. So overall, really nice though. That was a good 2 minutes of speaking. So nice job.
Thank you so much for calling.
Yeah, no problem. My pleasure. And I'm going to go ahead and let you go. I'm sure I'll talk to you soon though, okay?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, have a good day. All right. Whoop. We lost our comment feed here. Let me try to get it back. Not sure what happened. I think there might be a 1 hour time limit or something. Huh. I don't know where it is. That's weird. I just need to refresh it maybe. There we go. All right. Cool. Well, Yusuf, I think you had your turn already maybe, or yeah. No, I think you didn't answer when I called. So unfortunately we are out of time on the speaking practice. Sorry about that, but we will have another one again next week. All right. Speaking practice is always quite limited. It takes a lot of one-to-one time. So I'm going to take just a quick little break. All right, and then we're going to come back for task 1 correction and task 2 correction as well. Okay, so don't go anywhere. We've got, I think, 5 or 6 essays. 5 essays? 5 essays to check after the break. So don't go anywhere and use this chance to like and share and subscribe. I'll see you in just a couple of minutes. Stay tuned. going to have to put like a sticky note on my computer to make sure that I unmute myself. Ridiculous. Thank you very much, Hardy, for reminding me again that I forgot to unmute my computer. Anyway, I have put the topic up at the top here so we can kind of keep it in our minds as we read. But this is our topic, an underground station passenger numbers in London. Summarize the information by selecting. And let's take a closer look at the graph. Okay, we've got a line graph here. All right, starting from 6 a.m. until 10 p.m. or from 6 until 22. And this is the number of passengers over time. Okay, so kind of interesting. It kind of goes as you would expect, right? Work probably starts at 8:30 or 9, so 8 o'clock is the busiest time. And then at 6 p.m. when people finish work, that's also the busiest time. The lowest times are very early in the morning and in the middle of the afternoon. Also a kind of a dip in the mid-morning. Okay, as we would expect. All right, so let's see how our writers approach this, shall we? I'm going to do as much correction as I can, but I do not guarantee that I'm correcting all of the grammar. I'm mainly looking for the approach. The given line graph displays subway passengers count in London according to different timings of the day. Overall, okay, so we've got our summary at the beginning, which I prefer, actually. Whereas the lowest number of passengers were observed only once in the morning time and twice in the evening time. Okay, I think in this overall bit, the way that I like to think of the overall is it's like your boss or manager asked you to read or to look at this graph and to analyze it. And then your boss asked you, okay, so what do I need to know about this graph? Like, give me just the general thing that I need to know. What does this graph show us? Okay? And I think this is a case where it's pretty clear what the trend shows. The trend shows that when people are going to work and leaving work, right, that's when passenger numbers are highest, right? And between that, there's a time in the middle of the morning, in the middle of the afternoon, as well as early in the morning and late at night, that passenger numbers are low, right? That, to me, is what you need to do in the summary, right? But here, it's a little bit too focused on the statistics. You've got to kind of zoom out and kind of interpret this data for your boss. Okay? Don't make your own opinions, but provide your own interpretation a little bit. Okay? Now, how do we split this up? To start with, the maximum rate of passengers were observed between 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. So there's almost 200 passengers at 10 a.m. Okay, so actually, this is something you already kind of mentioned in the summary. Okay, so the way you've divided this, I don't think it's the most logical way to do it. What I like to do with task 1 is look at the information, especially if it's visual like this, and all task 1 information is visual, but I like to draw a line. All right, so let's see, do I have my, hold on one second, guys. Yeah. One second. Okay, so yeah, I like to draw a line kind of right down the middle. Oh, I see what's going on, hold on. That's what happened. Okay, so in this case, right down the middle, I think would be at 4 p.m. or at 2 p.m. So this would be one possible way where you've got a body paragraph A and B. Okay? Well, RS the ASIF, welcome. I'm glad you could join. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'll ask them along the way. But yeah, right now we're looking at this task 1 task here. So split it here, I think would be the best way. Sometimes you can also split it kind of horizontally, but I think in this case that doesn't make any sense. To me, the easiest way to approach this topic is to talk about from the early morning until midday, and then from midday until the night. Okay? Tell it like a story over time. First half of the story and the second half of the story. All right, so that would be what I would change about this approach. Okay, make this paragraph about the early morning to the midday, and then here from midday to night. Okay, otherwise this is kind of basically a longer summary, just with more detail. Let me just fix, I'll just fix 5 or 6 kind of grammar things. I'm not going to be able to fix everything. Displays the number of subway passengers in London, yeah, according to different times of the day. Or the highest peak of number of passengers was seen. Yeah, so here's the thing. If you're going to use this 24-hour clock, then you don't want to use AM and PM. 18 o'clock PM doesn't make sense, actually. Either 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. or 8 o'clock and 18 o'clock. Also, this use of whereas, this is an example of a cohesive device. All right? And very important to know the different types of cohesive devices. So actually, I have a writing course where I spend a whole lesson, a huge long video lesson just on this topic of using cohesive devices correctly. Because the problem is, when a cohesive device is used incorrectly, like in this case, you have used whereas, which is a conjunction, okay? You have used it like an adverb, a kind of transitional adverb. When you get those things confused, what happens is it's a grammar mistake, A, that's one category, right? But it's also a problem for the cohesion and coherence, okay? Those two ideas don't fit together anymore very well. So now you've got 2 categories where your score is dropping. In addition, not in this case, but sometimes, especially task 2, if it makes your paragraph confusing, you now have a task achievement problem, where maybe your argument is not consistently told, right? So now you've got 3 categories that are dropping. Okay, so one mistake with cohesive devices can be so damaging to your score. Yeah, the course that I'm talking about, the writing course that I have, it's mostly on approach and organization for the different essay types. How to organize a body paragraph, how to write an introduction, but not really focused on grammar. Cohesive devices is the one area that I spend a whole lesson talking about this kind of grammar issue, just because it's so damaging when you make a mistake. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out there. This is probably the mistake you want to focus on the most, improving that. The lowest number of passengers were observed only once in the morning and twice in the evening. To start with, the maximum rate of passengers was... I noticed this little trend as well. Rate, that's your subject. Number, or peak, that's your subject. So you want to match the verbs, right? Peak is singular, use was. Rate was. Between, again, AM already means morning. So let's say 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. Where it's when it started to decrease to almost 200 passengers by 10 a.m. Fluctuations were seen between 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. where it plummeted again to approximately up. Plummeted is actually down. Okay, so it's the opposite meaning here, where it just rose is okay. This is another thing that I have in my writing course for task 1 is a whole section on change verbs and change adverbs. So suddenly rose, drastically rose. Different adverbs, different verbs you can use. And lastly decreased and leveled off at 150 passengers at 10 o'clock. Let's say by 10 o'clock at night. Okay, and I think that's enough grammar correction on that one. I'm going to go ahead and move to the next one because we are running a bit behind. All right. Cool. Now, let's look at our next task 1 and see if there are any differences here. So same topic. If you did not get a chance to submit your writing, the way that you can submit it is through Facebook. So go on Facebook, search for IELTS for All. Right? Every week, usually on Sunday, I will post a link where you can submit your writing for this week's lesson. Okay, so you can kind of post on Sunday, I check it on Wednesday, post on Sunday again. You can get weekly essay correction from me if you just kind of pay attention on the Facebook page or the Facebook group and just notice when I post. Now the graph represents the number of underground station customers. Be a better word than customers. The number of underground station passengers would be better. Statistics display. Okay, now let me just check the organization first. This I think is the summary, which looks quite long for the summary, but let's check. This is good. Okay, I don't know about varies, but decreases or drops. But I like this, break times for lunch and, oh, actually, yeah, rises slightly during break times for lunch and also decreases late at night. So that's good. So this is a little bit of interpretation here, right? So not only it rises at 12 o'clock, it rises during lunchtime, right? So you're applying a little bit of interpretation. Remember, I like to imagine reporting this to a manager who doesn't want to know the details, just interpret it for me. What does it really mean, right? Okay. The number of, I am concerned with the repetition. The number of passengers in the underground station in London. The number of passenger in the underground station in London. That's repetitive. We don't want those long phrases repeated again and again. Again here, early hours, 7:30 a.m., normally known as time to head to work. Hence people found themselves crowded in the station. Yeah, this is too much interpretation, okay? This is not describing the graph anymore. Now you're just kind of imagining the scenario in your mind and describing it. Don't do that. Okay, the examiners don't want to see this much interpretation. Yeah, we want a much more data-driven analysis, a little bit less of a visual analysis, or yeah, this is really going to hurt you with task achievement. We want to see details, okay? As I said, I think the best thing to do is take one paragraph and describe the first half of the day in detail. Okay, we want to use those changing verbs. Look, you got a rapid increase, right? A sharp decrease, gradual uptick during lunch, and then a sharp drop during midday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., followed by a sudden jump in the number of passengers by 6 o'clock p.m., and then a sharp drop, you could use a verb, maybe the number of passengers plummeted between 6 p.m. and 10 p.m., and then remained at that low level until the end of the night. Okay? But we do want times, and ideally we want numbers as well. Okay? The times of day and the numbers mixed with those change verbs. Okay? Change verbs and nouns and adverbs. All right. We have 4 people watching. Welcome, you guys. People are getting tired, I think. But why don't we move right along here? The other kind of issue is the paragraphing is a little bit confusing here. Yeah, I see kind of 3 body paragraphs. You want only 2 body paragraphs, okay? So restate the topic, summary, body A, body B. Combine those things together. Remember, the easiest way with Task 1 Academic, split it in half. Okay? So in the writing course, I go into great detail about how to split the information, whether it's a line graph, a bar graph, a map, a diagram. All of these things can be split in 2. If you split them in a logical way, the essay becomes very easy to organize. Okay? And you can just focus on grammar and vocabulary. Much higher scores that way. Task 1 general. Let's see. I think I've got this written on a different one, maybe. Yeah. Let's read the topic. You are employed full-time and also doing a part-time evening course. You are not able to continue the course. Write a letter to the course lecturer. In the letter, explain why you cannot continue the course, describe the situation, and say what you will be doing. Okay? Letters, I think, are fairly easy to organize. All right? Got a nice strong start. Dear lecturer. It is with regret that I announce to you in this letter that I will not be able to continue pursuing my part-time evening program course because of different reasons that are currently affecting my full-time job. Good. Different factors. Okay, factors affect something. Reasons do not affect something. Reasons cause something. All right. Good, though. From the beginning, we should be thinking about the tone, right? This is someone that you know, okay, but you are not friends. So this should be a semi-formal tone. So it is with my sincere, actually remove my, but this might be a bit formal, okay? I am so sorry to tell you would be better. It is with sincere regret. It's a bit formal. when I enrolled in the part-time evening course, I was convinced that it would boost my career and earnings. I knew it would be hard to achieve a day per day course. Attend a daily course plus my full-time job, but still I was pushing hard because I said to myself that it was worth my time and let's say financial investment. So far, pursuing the evening course also helped me a lot. Like, for example, I had a chance to network with open-minded fellow students, which can help with my future career prospects. However, recently enrolling in the part-time evening program became intensely challenging while managing both studies and full-time job. Finding funding for my courses is becoming a barrier in my life and is also affecting my focus on my full-time job. As circumstances change, are also changing in my family situation. I finally decided to stop my part-time evening course and put all my focus into my full-time job in order to get a promotion and just a spelling mistake there. Also, have time for my family and social life as well. I will look forward to taking a full-time program course when the situation allows it. When the situation allows is actually right. Best regards. Okay. Good. Okay, so not bad. There are the one thing that I would suggest changing. You did cover all of this, but I just want to look at the word count here. Yeah, the word count is a bit high. It's what, 230 words. That's quite high for task 1. The way that you can kind of say this information a little bit more simply, you've got 3 tasks. Explain why you cannot continue the course, describe the situation, and say what you will be doing. 3 tasks, 3 shorter paragraphs. So you've got these 2 kind of long paragraphs, and you're kind of, the information is not that well organized. Okay, you're kind of jumping from task to task throughout. So what you want to do is separate each task into 1 paragraph. Task 1, the prompt makes it very easy to answer, actually. It always gives you 3 things you need to do. Just take them one by one. Focus on using correct phrases, correct grammar, explaining yourself well, a variety of language use. Yeah, keep it simple, okay? Announce what the thing is, and then 1, 2, 3. All right? Okay, now on to task 2. And good deal here. Okay. We've got 2 essays to check in task 2. So let's see what we got. Having a good university degree guarantees people a good job. That's our topic. Let me switch our scene so that you can see it. Okay. To what extent do you agree or disagree? There are 7 different question types for task 2, and this is among the most difficult. I think discuss both sides and give your opinion, probably the most difficult one. This one I think is the number 2 most difficult topic. So let's see. Academic studies play a pivotal role in associating the status of an individual. It is argued that a high-ranked university degree fulfills the criteria to get a respectable job. I agree with the above mentioned statement to a greater extent. To a great extent, for the following reasons. Good. I think this is a pretty good introduction. Yeah. An introduction should have 2 or 3 sentences, and this uses the first 2 sentences to introduce the theme or the topic of the essay, and here we get the purpose or the thesis of the essay. Okay, you need to hit both of them. There's actually 4 types of sentences that can be in your introduction. This one uses 3 of them, and very effectively. What we don't have is an outline, but I don't think we need one in this case. So, nice job. Now, let's see how this body paragraph is organized. This is actually body paragraph organization. That is lesson 2 of my writing course. And I talk about 2 different styles of paragraph that you can write. A 1-idea paragraph and a 2-idea paragraph. So let's see if this paragraph fits one of those kind of models. Let's see, to begin with, studying from a top-ranked university. Let's not use the future tense. There's really no need for any task 2 essay to use future. Better to just stay with the present, otherwise we get confused. Are we talking about a prediction or something that happens on a daily basis? Due to the high recommendations of a good previous record, that's to say, when the more chances. The more chances they receive, maybe? They get appointed. I'm not sure what this means, actually, batchmates. Yeah. There's a couple phrases in here that I'm a little bit unclear on what the writer exactly wants to say, so I'm going to highlight them. Hold on. Okay. And okay. The more skilled work, the earlier. I think it's just the wrong word, batches. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe graduates? Okay. Who was the ex-president of the USA? Who was the ex-president? Well, he is the ex-president, or he was the president. Happen to be is not an appropriate expression here. It has a very specific meaning. Who was elected? Associated success with the study period he spent during his law degree. Hence, most people dream of getting enrolled, just enrolling in a respective, let's say respectable, to get a better chance of high-skilled jobs. Okay. Yeah, not bad, but I get the feeling this writer may be trying to use expressions that are a little beyond their level, or just reaching for complexity when maybe you just need to tone it down a little bit. I think you've got some good vocabulary and grammar here, so just sit back a little bit. Don't take so many risks. yeah, these kind of phrases like this are really going to hurt you, because it makes your argument kind of unclear, and therefore, by the end of the paragraph I understand it, I think, but yeah, your task achievement, coherence scores really go down there. Help in achieving the standard education. It is to say, you work really hard together to produce experienced graduates. This impresses the employees during induction for different kind of job. It saves the managers. In this part, I'm not quite sure what this means. The University of Oxford, I think it's Oxford University, isn't it? I should check. Oh no, it is University of Oxford. Sorry. It is the. With surgical skills, which makes them exempt from around the world. Start practicing at the hospital of their, let's say maybe their preferred hospital. I strongly agree with the statement that reputed university guarantees a prosperous prosperous job. A prosperous scope doesn't really work, but a prosperous job is okay. All right, so again, I think the main issue with this is unclear meaning due to vocabulary that I think somebody has told this writer that the best way to improve their score is to use higher and more unusual vocabulary, which is not true, right? So for one thing, there is nothing about high-level vocabulary in the rubric, okay? Various vocabulary, various grammar is what you need, okay? So yes, you're going to have to use some complex grammar, some higher-level vocabulary, but when you take a big risk and use a type of grammar or a phrase that doesn't work, then your score drops so much it's not worth the risk. Okay, so keep it a little tighter. Okay, don't try to extend so much when it comes to grammar and vocabulary here. Keep it a little tighter, keep it more controlled. Try to limit the mistakes. Okay. Overall, the structure I think is pretty good. I like the examples. These are examples of one idea paragraphs, which can be hard to design, but this is quite good. All right, same topic, new essay. All right, we got 5 people with me. Welcome, you guys. You stuck it out. You're here for the long haul. I like that. I'm starting to get tired, so I'm going to try to keep my energy up, and we've got one more essay to go, so bear with me here. Okay. This is very interesting. So this introduction paragraph is perfect for one type of essay, but not for this type. Okay? So this is a pretty good standard model to follow when it is discuss both sides and give your opinion. Okay? While this essay will present both sides of the argument, no. That's not what the examiner wants here. Okay? The examiner wants to see you make a clear opinion in the introduction, a clear thesis, state what you think, and then support it with reasons and details and examples. You don't want to discuss both sides. Okay? That's just a different type of essay. So first, there are some who believe that holding a good university degree let's maybe say leads to. Let's keep it simple. Leads to a good job. One main reason is that holding a good university degree Again, I want to say leads to. I'm trying to think of another way to say cause and effect here. Holding a good university degree. I'm just going to say leads to. I'm sure there's another word you could use, but it also makes you an outstanding candidate for good. Okay, so I think this sentence and this sentence are not that different from each other. Holding a good university degree leads to a good job. One reason is that holding a good university degree leads to job offers from public and private companies and the government, sure, but I don't think we're really saying anything different here. I think we're getting a little repetitive, I think. Secondly, holding a good university degree has been proven to be one of the requirements that is mandatory for job offers all over the world. A good university degree is guaranteed. A good university degree guarantees are already learned skills and able to work. Okay, so this paragraph has a lot of words, but I don't think it has a lot of ideas. I think it's a bit repetitive. You basically say holding a good university degree gives you more job opportunities, and it is required for some jobs, and it shows that you are skilled. Okay, those ideas are good, but I think they need to be organized in a better way. This paragraph is not that great, I think. From universities. Oh, okay. I see what went wrong here. This is kind of my problem. Okay. Oops. What just happened? Alright guys, 1 second. Okay. Keeps doing that, huh? One second here. There we go. It can mean they do not have knowledge enough to work, therefore a degree from is very necessary to receive a rewarding job. Okay. Again, I think my fault in copying. Second, there are some who believe that holding a good university degree doesn't guarantee individuals to get a good job. Myriad individuals believe that having work experience first instead of a good university degree is better because it empowers candidates to get good jobs in companies where they prioritize work experience. It has also been seen that people without good university degrees don't look good on paper, but can be good at work. Hence, in most in most areas, they end up being really good performers in their jobs and also get promotions. Okay, it's not a bad way of explaining that argument. Although there are merits to both sides of the argument, holding a good university degree does guarantee being granted a good job in the future and also other opportunities in life. However, people with no good university degree but with work experience can also get good jobs and can also be able, can already means be able to, so can also run their own business to fulfill their daily life needs. Okay, I don't think the argument is that well presented. And really we just missed the purpose of this essay, which is to state an opinion and support it. Okay, so it's hard for me to evaluate the task achievement. If this were a discuss both sides and give your opinion, I don't think it would really work either. The key here is guarantee. The word guarantee is the kind of hinge of this topic. Almost certainly guarantee is too strong of a word, right? Most of these, to what extent do you agree? They give you a super strong statement. You're not going to be able to agree fully, but you have to admit there is an advantage to having a good university degree, right? So what this essay is asking you to do is to take a stand somewhere in the middle or to the side of this argument, okay? Let's think of a good example. Having a good university degree guarantees people a good job. I think that in some fields, having a good university degree guarantees people a good job. I think engineering is a good example. I think kind of the computer tech industry. If you have a degree in engineering, you're going to get a job, in my opinion. I might be wrong about that, but it seems like people who have a good university degree walk straight into those kind of jobs in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, well, maybe not mathematics, engineering. Science, technology, engineering. Getting a good degree kind of guarantees you a decent job. There are some fields where that is not the case. Okay, I studied philosophy in college. You think a good philosophy degree guarantees me a good job? No way. Okay, so in liberal arts, I don't think that that's true. So if I were writing this essay, that's how I would organize it. One paragraph about how for engineering and science subjects, a good university degree more or less guarantees people a good job, while in other disciplines, a good university degree has other benefits rather than employment. Okay, so I'm really good at arguing and understanding people because of my university degree. I am not a philosopher. That's not my job. Not many people can get that job, but a lot of people study philosophy. So there must be other benefits to getting a university degree rather than just getting a job. So that is the issue that this essay wants you to explore. So I think both of our writers kind of missed that in different ways. All right, I don't think either of them really got into the core of this essay, the really what we call the crux of the argument. That point, that word guarantee should be a kind of alarm bell. A guarantee? 100%? 100% of university degree holders can get a good job? It's not that simple, is it? No, I don't think so. So anyway, try to find that crux of the argument and explore it through your essay. Now, a couple of quick questions and then we got to get going here. But how to understand the task achievement, which can help get task achievement 8 or 9. That's a great question, and it's all about understanding the different question types, whether it's opinion or it's discuss both sides and give your opinion, advantages, disadvantages, causes and solutions maybe. There are 7 different types, and other instructors have different ways of dividing them, but I divide it into 7 types. And if you know what each of those 7 types is asking from you, then you can get a task achievement 8 or 9. Okay? But it takes an understanding and then a little practice, preferably with an instructor, to make sure you are following the right path. Okay? This question is exactly the question that I was trying to answer with my writing course. Okay? We really target task achievement and coherence. Grammar and vocabulary, it takes a long time to improve those. If you need to go from a 6 to a 7 in your writing, the fastest way to do it is to improve your task achievement and coherence scores. Okay? Next, I'm just getting ready for IELTS. What is the first thing to start? Go and take a practice test. Okay? Get the Cambridge books. You can find them online. Take a practice reading test and a practice listening test. And then find a task 2 essay, write it. Find the task 1 essay, write it. Compare it with a model answer. Okay? You can do all of that for free. Right? It's easy to find reading exams and listening exams online to take for free. Just find those Cambridge books. Cambridge 12, Cambridge 11, even Cambridge 10 is fine. And then, yeah, you can basically assess yourself how close you are to the kind of top writing thing. And then once you take those practice exams, figure out what your weaknesses are and attack them. Okay, so I get the question a lot, how do I improve my IELTS? How do I improve my speaking? How do I improve my writing? How do I improve my reading? That's the wrong question, right? The question should be, how do I improve my writing vocabulary? How do I improve my multiple choice reading strategy? Okay, how do I improve my vocabulary for the listening exam? Okay, you need to take some practice exams, find out your weaknesses specifically, and then target those weaknesses. There's a lot of things you can do to improve your speaking vocabulary, for example. But how do you improve your speaking skill? That's too broad. That's not going to do you any good. Target a specific skill you want to improve. Okay? Then you can see, you can measure your improvement. If you want to work on your speaking fluency, for example, within 2 weeks, you can notice significant improvement in your speaking fluency, right? I had a private student, and we've been studying for about 5 weeks or so, right? And each week we focused on sort of a different area of her speaking, right? And I played her a video of, or this kind of sound recording of her first lesson with me, and then her last lesson with me. And it was so clear, right, how those things had been improved, right? How her fluency has gone up, vocabulary has gone up. Now, she studies every day. She studies really, really hard. And that's how she was able to get that. I am just her guide. She is the one who is doing the work. Okay? And you should treat every instructor, private instructor or not, you should treat them that way. They are a guide for you, right? They are helping you figure out what kind of work you need to do. But the work is yours. You have to do the work. Okay? The reason I agreed to work with her is because I knew she had that attitude of, I am taking the IELTS exam. It's my job to get a good score. Can you tell me what to work on, right? And practice with me. And this last question, I'm a little hesitant while speaking. What should I do to improve this? Much better question because it is targeted. Okay? The best thing to do, write down your notes for part 2. Okay? Get your phone, speak as much as you can, maybe for 3 minutes about that topic. Stop it, listen again, and then speak again. And try to say the same amount in a shorter time. When you are talking with friends in English, you speak faster and your fluency goes up because you feel this pressure to express yourself quickly, right? You want your friends are waiting for you to finish your idea. So you get it out quick, right? That's why your fluency goes up. When you're studying at home, you don't have that. So you need to simulate that stress, simulate that feeling of, oh, I got to speak quickly. The way to do that is with a timer, okay? So set yourself a goal. Record 3 minutes of speech, then say the same amount in 2 minutes 50 seconds, then 2 minutes 40, then 2 minutes 30, okay? Make it like a competition with yourself. Try to get all of that down into a 2-minute answer, and you have a really nice, fluent part 2 response, okay? All right, guys. As you can tell, I am exhausted. 2 hours. It's a long time. But for those 5 people who stayed with me, thank you. I'm glad you made it to the end. If you are curious about any of the stuff that I'm talking about, the best thing to do is just to find me on Facebook. I will put my profile link down in the comments, or you can just write a comment in YouTube and I will get back to you when I can, okay? So if you're curious about that writing course or about any kind of my one-to-one coaching stuff, I don't do very much one-to-one coaching because it's expensive. So the courses, I think, are the best way for me to get my information to you, all right? So if you have questions about it, ask me, and in the meantime, I hope you guys have a great week. If you're taking the exam on Saturday, good luck to you, and for everybody else, I'll see you next Wednesday. All right? Cool. Have a great night, you guys. Bye-bye.